So just what you've seen from Texas through one game, what are your impressions of them, and how are they different from last year?
Well, they have a lot of similarities. Obviously, they lost, Kerwin Roach was a good scorer for them. Jackson Hayes was very talented, but they didn't, have him in their run at the end of the season, which probably helped them for this year. Probably didn't help them at that time, but they still, had a lot of success at the end. But they have a very good backcourt. Matt Coleman is a very tough cover. He probably won the game, for them last year, the way he played and the way he played down the stretch, made some big plays and knocked down some shots. And, I think it, really starts with him. Like, if he's going to get where he wants to get with the basketball, get into rhythm, get himself involved, get other people involved, it's going to be a long night for you. But they have good shooters and scorers, Febris and, Jones. Drawing the blank on the kid from St. Louis.
Courtney
Ramey, who's a really good player. But all those guys are talented. They can score the basketball. They have good size up front, good athleticism. They have depth. Will Baker's a very talented kid that comes off the bench for him. Royce Ham has battled some things and now is playing for them. And so they have a good balance. They have good athleticism, good length. Gerald Liddell was out the last game, but it sounds like he'll be back. So they have a lot of kind of interchangeable pieces. They have good scores and they have good size. That they have a team. When you look at them, you see an NCAA caliber team, obviously. But I do think it's going to be really important for us to be able to just set our defense against them. If they're in transition and they're playing in the open court and they have a lot of freedom and they're kind of getting what they want and have a balance of things, it's going to be hard for us.
What did you take out of the Green Bay game that you want to see your team get better at?
The first half, just our passing. Our passing wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Even though we had 9 turnovers, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was after watching the tape. We had one of the times that one of our big guys, wasn't holding somebody off. The other time was just kind of a miscommunication. Then we had 2 or 3 other passes into the post that we got to do a better job of it. So just our interior passing and our ability to feed the post from different angles and read the defense. Just our overall decision making in that first half wasn't good. In the second half, we were much better. Green Bay, we felt if we could make it hard for them and set our defense, we could get them into taking bad shots, which I felt they did, and that really helped us. They needed to show more patience, and they really try to play at a fast pace. And when you get people who want to play at a fast pace that aren't comfortable playing in the half court, that's what normally ends up. Getting some bad shots. And I thought we were able to do that. I thought Eric Hunter did some good things on the basketball. It was good to see Jihad have some success. So hopefully he can build off of that. Anytime you're new to a program and you can have success, I think it really helps you.
Sasha, we have him Saturday.
He's going to practice some today. He's going to do some things today, so then we'll see after that. So he shot around yesterday, but he did not practice yesterday. So.
How much did you use Isaiah at the 2, and how comfortable is he there for as much as you need him while Sasha isn't available?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
He normally has the ball. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
To me it doesn't, but maybe it does. I didn't think along those lines with him. I kind of think more of him from a defensive standpoint. I think that's your toughest adjustment when you get against guys that are talented, is your ability to guard your position. So, he didn't have a great night. He can make threes, and so for him, he had some good looks that almost went down. But just needs to get keep getting opportunities, keep working, keep watching film. But no, just trying to have a balance of guys. After we decided to redshirt the other 2 guys, we're not real deep with Sasha being out. So we had some different lineups in there, but I think it's good. I think anytime you got a chance to play guys, more minutes. We had a handful of guys play 30 minutes or more, or around 30 minutes, I should say. And so I think that's good. That's when you can really grow, when you get a chance to play more.
I think you used Eastern at the 4, too, at the end of the first half. Is that going to be something you do this year?
I don't know. We'll see. He was really gassed in the game. We were just kind of trying to piece some things together.
I gotcha.
Then I put him in there from a defensive standpoint, not really from an offensive standpoint at the 4.
Right.
mentioned the red shirt. I mean, when do you start mentioning that to those guys and sort of,
Yeah.
I guess, preparing them for the possibility?
Well, the
and
one
talking
thing
them
you
through
want
it?
to do is, in terms of redshirting, is in each case is different. You want them to come in and play right away, and each guy is different. So you really don't talk about it a whole lot, in the recruiting process unless somebody asks you. If
Right.
they ask you and they say, well, we want you to come in and fight to get in the rotation. We want you to fight to start. If you tell somebody they're redshirting up front, now they get June, July, September. I'm just kind of talking the months that they're really here,
Right.
full months. October, towards like, well, this doesn't matter. I'm redshirting. So
Right,
no,
yeah.
you want them competing. You want them to try to get better. Probably the only person we just kind of up front talked about it. Matt came at the break, so that was a little
Sure,
bit different.
right.
Sasha, we had Ryan and we had Dakota, and we were full there. We ended up having a scholarship. I said, if we get a scholarship, we're going to offer you that scholarship. But with that being said, it's going to be awful tough for you to play that first year, and you can
Right.
redshirt. So most guys, unless they ask it, you don't bring it up because
Sure.
you're signing guys to play them. You're signing guys to come in and compete, and it's the beauty of being honest with them. They ask a question, you answer it honestly. Is that you don't promise guys are going to start, you don't promise guys a minute, so it's open
Right.
competition. Just because you started the year before doesn't mean you're going to start this year.
Right.
And so, but it allows you to have great chemistry because nobody in that locker room got promised anything.
Right. So I guess when you get into October and practice starts happening, I don't imagine you want to shock them with the idea when they've been competing. I guess when you
No,
put
you
it in
just,
mind.
you just discuss it when it happens. You can go after 2 games or
Right.
1 scrimmage, 1 exhibition, and then once it does, you want them to keep competing. Then you talk to them about it. It's in a short window right there. But we've also done it before where we've said, hey, why don't we play? I told Brandon Newman that, why don't you let a couple games float through and kind of see where we are.
Right.
And then you can make a decision at that time. You're not locked into it as long
Right.
as you don't play.
Yeah.
And so but he ended up making it at that time. So I think it's good. Part of my thinking on it was each guy who leaves your program, what if you had another year? Would you be in a different situation? Would you have a better career? So I did redshirt and I didn't play as a freshman. To me, that doesn't make sense. So as a coach, I know, as people that are close to him, they don't see what I see every single day,
Right.
nor do they have the experiences that I have. You really just, you want what's best for your team, but you also want what's best for each one of your guys.
Right.
And if you're going to play 5 or 6 minutes or 8 minutes or not play at all, what's the point? And so everybody probably looks at it differently, but coming from somebody that played 3 years instead of 4 years, you'd prefer to play 4 years.
Would you